Well, there's been this period of relative calm just under 2 weeks now, and we've seen population transfers, evacuations out of Eastern Ghouta and some out of Douma, this last remaining area within Eastern Ghouta that still isn't under the control of the regime. One of the last areas, even in the wider Damascus area, that's still not under control of the regime. But that violence appears to now have started once again. We've seen these airstrikes. We've also had reports of shelling from Jaish al-Islam into regime areas as well. And it appears, at least for now, since especially on Thursday we saw those evacuations stop, and now the violence resuming on Friday, it appears that negotiations perhaps between Jaish al-Islam and the regime and the Russians on the other hand, they appear to have broken down in some way, which has led to the new fresh violence on Friday.
In what way could those talks have broken down, leading to this? What do you think the sticking points in particular might have been?
Well, we've got to go back to these evacuations, what some within Jaish al-Islam have been calling population transfers, forced population transfers. You've got some who've been evacuated out of Eastern Ghouta, out of Douma, towards areas in Idlib, such as fighters, for example, from the Faylaq al-Rahman group. That was not acceptable to some members of Jaish al-Islam because of their disputes with the group there, the group that controls much of Idlib, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Now, they've previously fought in the past, so that was a no-go on that side. Then you've also had the option of going towards Jarablus, an area that's, of course, under the control of the Operation Euphrates Shield forces backed by Turkey. But again, also for some within Jaish al-Islam, that was also not an option because of disputes with rebel groups there. So this inter-rebel group rivalry. And then you've got also reports that some within Jaish al-Islam wish to remain in Douma and possibly even make some sort of deal with the regime and become a local defense force that is in essence allied to the regime, essentially flipping or changing sides there. Now, there appears to be a dispute within Jaish al-Islam itself on what the next step is, and it appears that that's led to a wider problem with the negotiations with the regime and the Russians, and it's quite clearly now appears that those negotiations have collapsed, as we're seeing fresh violence, a stop to the evacuations, and a massing of regime forces outside Douma, possibility of entering even into Douma itself now.